SSNIT, the sharing of stake or the selling of shares in some of the hotels and everything in between. You do know that today there's a demonstration that is being organized by that member of parliament, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa. But to help us delve into those issues, we have Abdallah Mashood. He is Executive Director, Africa Center for Retirement Research. He's a pensions researcher, and he joins the conversation. Mr. Mashood, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Ben. Thank you for having me, and good morning to your viewers.
All right, so on a slightly playful note, I've heard this name pronounced in different ways. Do you pronounce yours Mashood or Mashood?
Mashood.
Mashood.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that clarity. Let's get into where we have come to now in terms of the selling of these shares or the stake in some of these hotels, about 6 of them, and what you make of development so far. I know you are curious in terms of organized labor, their numbers on the board, and happenings in between. But let's situate the conversation from how far we've come and what your take is on this matter.
All right. Once again, thank you. Ben,
Mashood, please speak up a little for me.
All right. So, particularly on this one, I find it interesting how the management of the trust is approaching this particular investment decision. I'm talking about the sale of the 4 hotels to owner of Rock City.
Right.
We have to, Ben, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good. So, first of all, let's look at how investment decisions are made at the trust so that we can fill out the variance. Generally, proposals on investments are analyzed by departments within the trust and eventually by the management committee on investment. What they do is that they do take assessment of the investment trust, such that they want to establish if the idea is fit into SSNIT investment policy guidelines and strategies, and also to ascertain if the propriety of the idea is fine, or generally try to establish the propriety of the idea. And in that case, they are looking at safety or level of risk exposure and also projected returns as far as the proposal is concerned. The report eventually is submitted to the Director General, who will also take a look at it and also submit the Board of Trustees for consideration. They submit to the Board of Trustees for final consideration, and that is where it gets interesting. It is the Board of Trustees that approves the proposal or rejects the proposal by looking at the broader picture and other considerations. Now, we have heard organized labor saying that when the issue came up about the sale of the hotels, they rejected it. They said it was not in line, it was not in the best interest of the Ghanaian worker.
Right.
It was going to be a lot of risk. There's so much, generally they rejected it. But what are we hearing? Generally, there are 13 members on the SSNIT board.
Right.
7 are non-governmental. Of course, we have 4 coming from organized labor, 2 coming from employers association, and 1 coming from a pensioner association. If you look at the other side, we have the chairperson of SSNIT, appointed by the president. The Director General is appointed by the president. The president appoints nominates 2 other people, making 4. Then we have 1 representative from Ministry of Finance and 1 representative from Security Services, making 6. If you look at the numbers, you realize that we have 7 here against 6. On this particular one, all these people were saying that they said, no, it was not in line, they rejected it. So now, who within the task is just pushing this one? Because
in other words, you're saying that
it's not approved.
Right. In other words, you're saying that if you look at the composition of the board, which is 13, and organized labor has 7, and all the others, the appointees of government, have 6. If organized labor really wanted to poo-poo this or kick against it, they would have every power to do so because they have the extra person, right?
Exactly. That is what is happening here. Yeah,
and you feel...
So in any case, given the numbers then, what I just want to say is that organized labor has the responsibility to protect the interests of the members they represent. And in this case, what they have to do is to do all that to hold it of the 4 to owner We have to mind that believers that
Right.
what is the best interest of the Ghanaian West.
Okay. Mashoud, just hold for me briefly. I have to do this. We do know that the Member of Parliament for Norton, Samuel Kudjatu Ablakwa, is on the ground now. He's hit the road, the ground running as far as this demonstration is concerned. He's saying something. Let's find out what he's saying for now, and we'll come back into the studio. Mashoud, let's cross over now.
On hijacking state assets. Look, if you look at SSNIT's own investment portfolios, documents they have sent to SIGA, and the SIGA report we have now received in Parliament. SIGA is saying that the worst performing investment of SSNIT is STC, where they have 80% shares. Every year, on the average, STC is making losses of 32 million Ghana cedis. Last year, STC made losses in excess of 54 million Ghana cedis. Why is it that SSNIT is not interested in selling STC, and nobody in cabinet, nobody in the Akufo-Addo cabinet is interested in buying STC? So that itself should tell you that this sale has got nothing to do with somebody coming to save non-performing state assets. It's about people seeing the books of these hotels, seeing how profitable it is. As we speak, according to the financial statements that we now have, conducted by Deloitte, Labadi Beach Hotel is so liquid, so profitable. Last year, they declared profit of 158 million Ghana cedis. They paid government dividend of 25 million Ghana cedis. Over the last 3 years, they've paid taxes of 20.5 million Ghana cedis. The financial statements reveal that in the accounts, they have 5 bank accounts. Labadi Beach Hotel, there is 58.4 million Ghana cedis in those accounts.
They are selling it for it.
I mean, so liquid. And yet, the company coming to save these hotels, these magnificent hotels that you can see behind us, it's making losses. We have put out the filings at GRA. Last year, Rock City made losses. They didn't pay any tax.
What does it say?
It tells you that this cannot be about somebody having expertise in making profit, in transforming hotels. This is just pure state capture, classic state capture. They have seen how profitable these hotels. And you see, these things are going on all over the place. I have received calls from civil servants. They just get letters. You have 2 weeks to move. Go and look for a place to rent. Then they raise down their bungalows. They sell it to private, so-called private developers. Parks and Gardens, we will be working there. Parks and Gardens is reporting to us that somebody just showed up, that he is a new owner of Parks and Gardens. So Parks and Gardens have had to go to court. The prison service, they have been told to move out. Prisons that is near Osu Runabout. They've been told to move out by July, that a private developer is taking over. I mean, what is happening? Rich Hospital, doctors are telling us that now there are no bungalows, they've sold all of them. They have to come, if there's an emergency today, if on this demonstration anything happens to us, and they send us to Rich Hospital, and the doctor has to move from his private house far away, from Kaswa or Domikwa, imagine what will happen to you. So the looting must stop.
On 30th May, when Elizabeth Ohene led SSNIT Board met with TUC, they said that they were still negotiating and the deal has not gone through. Have you heard this? And they also said that they were still engaging some of you who are against the sale of these 6 hotels. Has the Elizabeth Ohene-led SSNIT Board met with you? And have you heard this commentary from them that they've not sold it out yet? And what is your reaction to that?
We heard that very disappointing statement from the SSNIT Board chair. That is not what we were expecting to hear. We expected to hear clearly that they have aborted this detrimental, inimical, obnoxious, unconscionable transaction. That's what we wanted to hear. Not that you are still negotiating, you haven't finalized. We know. That is why we exposed you. Our intervention was timely. We didn't want to be presented with a fait accompli where they will say, oh, it's too late. We've already sold it to him. We caught them right on time, you know, just on the nick of time when they were about to finalize the deal. What we want to hear is that the president announces to the nation today that they have aborted this transaction, they have stopped the sale. The whole policy of selling state assets particularly profitable ones, like the one behind us, Labadi Beach Hotel, is no longer on the books, and they are no longer going to do that. That is what we want to hear. And we want him to also commit that when we are done with our private members bill, which will ban all politicians and politically exposed persons from buying state assets, he will assent to it. We don't want him to behave like he's done with other private member bills we have struggled to work and to deliver, then he refuses to sign.
We have enough time. We just have about barely 6 months to the election. Do you have time to
Oh, we have. It's more than enough time. It's more than enough time. Once there is a political will, there's a way.
Your opponents have said this very action is one that undermines local investment. How do you respond to that?
It's so ridiculous, so preposterous. I mean, if you are really a local investor, there's a lot of land. When you are coming here, you didn't see the land all over. You are looking for a job. Unemployment rate has worsened. So if you are a real local investor who has money, put up your own hotel. Why do you want to come and buy government hotels that have been built with our worker contributions? Cheap way out, you loot, and look at what they're even offering. There's no value for money. SSNIT's own valuation report says that the 4 hotels are valued at $121 million. The Honorable Brad Chapo is offering only $61 million, which he says he will pay over a 3-year period.
Work and pay.
It's just work and pay. Work and pay. The chief whip is right. Work and pay. He will just use Labadi Beach Hotels proceeds, and then take care of the rest. Look, who can do this? If you are a real local investor who has the investment, the funds, put up hotels all over. Look, in Northtown, I can offer land for free to all these local investors who are suddenly interested in only hotels. They don't want to, they're not interested in STC, which is hemorrhaging, which is totally, destroying workers' contributions and making workers suffer. 80% investment in STC and the Nana Akomia-led STC, totally destroying all our investments that we have made in STC, and yet because it's not profitable, nobody is interested. So you see the hypocrisy. And look at the rape. Look at the rape going on at Labadi Beach Hotel, where you have the Blazers who now claim. Don't worry, I'll come to all of that. I'll come to all of that. Look at the rape that Labadi Beach Hotel is facing, where the Blay brothers now claim to own the beachfront. Have you heard of any beach hotel in the world which doesn't own a beach, which doesn't have its beach? Labadi Beach Hotel, and yet the beach in the name doesn't belong to them. I mean, can you believe that? Look, La Palm Royal, until recently, was making heavy profits. It is because of wrong appointment. That's why we have said that selling is not the only option. There are so many things you can do, including just changing management. Labadi, 12, 13 years ago, struggled. Under President Mahama, they then appointed a new management led by this South African company, Legacy. They appointed an expatriate manager who the locals then understudied. After 10 years, they left. And then the locals took over, having understudied, having built capacity. And see how well they are doing better than when even the experts were here. So it tells you that with the right management, things can be done. Then don't forget that in this discussion, you must also consider the assets. We are talking about prime beachfront land. La Palm, Elmina, Buzia, prime land, Ridge Royal. So land in Ghana is always appreciating. Look at the goodwill. Look at the iconic brands that we are talking about. Why is it that all of this is not being taken into consideration? So this deal is not in the national interest. It is not about anybody coming to save these hotels. If that person had the magic wand and is really a savior, he will have saved his own hotel, which is making losses as we speak. Whilst Labadi Beach Hotel, for example, Ridge Royal, are making profit. According to filings at the GRA, Rock City has made losses and continues to make losses.
But does it matter if the individual can take this up and make it better?
Where is the record that he can make it better?
So we don't see any record. Why didn't he make Rock City better? And in any case, if you have such great ideas to transform hotels, you are sitting in cabinet. Why do we send people to cabinet? Under the Constitution, cabinet is a place you go and brainstorm, bring your expertise, your know-how to bear. Why is it that you will only bring that expertise, that know-how to bear when it's your private property, when you have bought it, annexed it, and it's within your private domain? That is only when you will bring that expertise to bear. Don't you find something wrong with that? Is that not unpatriotism? Is that not callousness? That is not being nationalistic. Why then are we paying you as a cabinet minister? It means we shouldn't pay you. You don't have to be at the cabinet. If going to cabinet, I mean, it's a height of wickedness that you will only bring your so-called expertise to bear, even though it is of questionable value that reflect adroxity. You will only bring that expertise to bear when you own the hotel in your private capacity. Why? Why? That is unconscionable. Look, as public officials, when we come to meet state assets, what the Ghanaian people expect and what every citizen all over the world, what they expect of their leaders, is that you will take good care of them, you will rather expand, increase. This discussion should have been, we came to meet 6 hotels, we've added 2, or we've added 3. We are creating more jobs, or we have expanded it so that many more people will be employed. Then we can improve the well-being of our young people as a country. That's what this discussion should have been about, not about annexing it for yourself.
Honorable Blackwell, we know you've petitioned Shraj on this particular matter. We want to find out if there's any updates on that.
Yes, Shraj has written. They have told us that they are investigating. They have also informed us that they have written to all the people who have been named in our petition, that is SSNIT, the Honorable Bra Champong, and all the others. So the investigations are ongoing. They've told us also to hold ourselves in readiness, which we are, because we've intercepted additional documents, latest documents, including, for example, the memos, which we intercepted recently, which revealed that the Honorable Bra Champong is offering way below the fair market value, the actual valuation. And all of that, we are standing in readiness to submit to Shraj. So we are only pleading with Shraj that they will expedite action, because I have another petition before them, the Reverend Victor Kusibuatin Kwame Duchefi National Cathedral petition, which has taken about 16 months. And we don't want this one to, follow that same, trajectory.
How confident are you that the government will listen to the after the investigation?
We are quite confident. If you see the numbers, you see the agitations, you should see all our partners. This is a matter the TUC has been very clear on. The Federation of Labour, they are all here. And you saw them at the press conference yesterday. The Gadangbe Council. You've seen the Wulomai. The Wulomai hardly comes out. The Wulomai himself is here with all the traditional leaders. They are saying that, look, they can't accept this any longer. All the opposition parties, So it has become the whole of Ghana versus a few plutocrats who are determined to continue with their state capture. And I am very clear in my mind that they will have no choice but to listen. Because, look, even if you don't listen and you try to sell this hotel, how are they going to have access to this hotel? How? Because we will block that access. We are not going to allow them to take. These are our assets. And we are saying you haven't consulted us. You didn't seek our consent. We are not allowing you to sell. We don't support you. Our reps, labor reps on the board, told you don't sell. But for our work, they didn't even know that on their blind side, it was being sold. So rest assured, we are confident that these hotels will not be sold.
And look,
if all actions fail, what is going to happen?
You asked a very important question earlier. You notice that this same government that is saying that state hotels are not making profit came to Parliament to seek tax waivers and also force Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund to invest $50 million in the Pullman Hotel.
Yes.
As we speak, the Pullman Hotel, after investing $25 million, have been abandoned. So where is the evidence that this government meant well for the hotel industry in this country? They've also granted tax waivers to hotel projects. From the day the company took the tax waivers, not a single block have been laid on those hotel sites. So this has nothing to do with improving the tourism sector of this country. It's simply to enforce the Ejapadia document, transferring viable state assets to individuals in government. And you ask a very important question. If we shout and they don't do anything, what will we do? We shall get to a point in this country where no government will think that, oh, go to court. Like Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa said, if you try, sell this hotel to Bra Champong and see whether he can actually take possession of it.
What would you do?
Of course.
Wouldn't that
Inciting that our constitution say resist oppressors rule. If you know something is right, if you see somebody murdering somebody, you don't wait and go to court. You make an attempt to stop the person from committing the crime first. This is an attempt, what we are doing now is an attempt to stop the commission of a crime before we go to court. So it is quite clear. And we are encouraged by the number of you, the media, who are here. This has nothing to do with a personality clash between, and I've heard people saying, oh, Honorable Okujeto and Brian are friends, they went to school, another thing. What has that got to do with this? Even if it's Okujeto's company who is buying this, we shall resist it, because SSNIT Hotels, majority of them are more profitable than Rock City. That is the fact.
Beyond Shrine, will you go beyond Shrine?
Which all options are available to us. All options are available to us. This is option number 1. Options number 2 is in Parliament. Others are still available to us.
Can you disclose the others to us?
When we get to that bridge, we shall cross it.
Thank you. The minority chief whip, Kwame Alleges. Earlier you had not on Member of Parliament Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa addressing the press. It's very hot in here. It's very hot in here. We have quite a number of people gathering here for this protest.
They should use the same test, right? I said they should use the same proposal to bring in the likes of Novotel, the Pullmans, and other international chains around if they indeed want to promote tourism.
But they tell you that this is to ensure the efficiency of these hotels, to increase their profitability.
So can they bring a proposal, right, vis-a-vis what SSNIT is currently doing in terms of management of these hotels, that they are managing them poorly, and what they are bringing would bring, rake in more profit than SSNIT is doing? If they do that, that's justifiable enough. Have they been able to prove that yet?
What would have been the NDC's position if the NDC, if we flip the script and the NDC were to be in power? Do you think your party would have still held this position?
This is not an NDC position. This is a people of Ghana's position, and that is what we stand for.
Championed by the NDC.
We are representing the good people of Ghana. We are representing the voiceless, and that's exactly what we are doing. It is not an NDC project, but a Ghana project.
Okay. Thank you for talking to us. Okay, so let's take you in the bit. We have a rep from Labour here with us.
Scenes from that demonstration as they pile pressure on a government not to go ahead with the sale of shares or stake to Dr. Brian Achampong and Rock City. Well, Mashood, what do you make of some of these comments? And yes, I mean, assets versus liabilities, the losses that Rock City itself has suffered, taking on an entity that is actually making profit, like the Labadi Beach Hotel. He talks about a private member's bill to prevent people who are politically exposed from buying state assets. Quick reflections on that, and then we'll take your summary thoughts on how we can shape this. Mashood.
Yeah, good. So one comment stands out. It is that the transaction is not in the interest of the nation. It is not in the interest of the Ghanaian worker.
Right.
If you take, Rock City's record in terms of exposure, in terms of how long it has been in operation, and other, considerations, you just realize that this represents a very high risk into the existing portfolio mix of the trust. And it is activities like this that account for the investment performance of the trust. Then, if you take the last 8 years, it has posted, out of the last 8 years, it has posted 6 negative real returns on their investment in the last 8 years. Only 2 positive real returns. And it is, activities like this, people advancing their interests, and especially the political class. People advance
Are you suggesting that SSNIT itself is not helping the cause of pensioners and the country?
Because, especially when it comes to investment performance, I'm saying that individuals are in there who are advancing their personal interests as opposed to the interest of the scheme. I'm talking about, the real interest of the scheme. And I'm telling you that if you take the last 8 years, SSNIT has posted only 2% real returns on their investment. And in a different jurisdiction, you would have realized that this would have been enough for a pension reform. But in all this, we have had those who are representing us keeping very meek. We have gotten to a point where we need to be very, very, all of us must be interested in how social security is administered and governed in this country. I think that we have to, collectively, we have to commend Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, for bringing all this up for a national conversation. All of us need to be very interested. It appears you are not getting anywhere on this important human development area, especially, I'm talking about pension, especially if you consider the main social security policy objective. Benefit adequacy. And, you know, all of that is feeding into this type of activity. A larger part of the Ghanaian retirees are receiving benefits that are lower than what they would have received under the old law. Meanwhile, we have had pension reform in 2010, but activities like this are accounting for lower benefits. People are not able to go home with adequate benefits and all that. Recently, you had sustainability of the pension scheme. The whole thing has been put in question. Yet, SSNIT, you have mentioned SSNIT. SSNIT is telling us that we should have a blind faith in social security, despite all the science available to us in the actual valuation report. The actual valuation report is telling us that the scheme is not sustainable within the projecting period. And that is caused by very high administrative costs. The share of workers' contribution that they are using to manage the scheme is very high. Poor investment outcomes. And this conversation is exactly feeding into that. We also have, of course, demography. We have increased retirement rates, then we have government indebtedness. All these factors are feeding into the actual opinion that is being expressed. And the actual opinion is telling us that the scheme is not sustainable in the long term. I thought by this time we should rather be concentrating the discussion on how we are going to, bring the scheme back to solvency. Because, Ben, look, it means only one thing. If anybody tells you that the scheme is in very good footing, if we don't do anything, the scheme will still be able to pay benefit by 2036. The person is not looking at the figures very well, or the person does not have a real appreciation of what actual valuation really means. It means only one thing. The scheme is not sustainable unless the Social Security Administration is telling us that they use wrong assumptions in arriving at the opinion that has been expressed. And that is not the case. The actual valuation was conducted by International Labour Organization, and they have warned us before. This is not the first time. In 2014, we were warned. In 2017, we were warned. In 2020, we are warned. Look, right. The picture is even more dicey. It's even gloomier if we take into consideration performance of the scheme from 2021 to 2023.
Okay.
We are not supposed to step back. I agree with them. All we want to hear is that all of us need to be interested. We only want to hear one statement, and the statement is that, look, we have looked at the full picture, and we have come to the conclusion that, look, it's a bad deal. We have halted it completely, and we are never going back.
Okay. Mashood, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. We are very grateful for your time. And that is Abdallah Mashood. He is Executive Director, Africa Center for Retirement Research. But let's go back on the ground. You can see the scenes from there. Maxwell Agbagba is joining us to tell us what exactly is happening. Maxwell?
Screen right now is, I'm told, one of the priests of Lahore pouring libation right in front of the Labadi Beach Hotels, one of the hotels that the North Tongue Member of Parliament, the Minority Caucus, and other groups are protesting against its sale to a great minister, Brian Champion's Rock City Hotel. So what you can see right now in your shots, in your pictures on your screen right now, is the libation that they are pouring here. We want to hear what he's saying.
was supposed to meet the MPP. No, was supposed to go text. When I got the land commission, they say, I'm not fair. Corporate 37. I'm a airport phase 2. The Walodian master said, as a custodian of the land, meaning the Kawa. The Kolonian. The Telaka. We got 20 new and the both way. The class company. The Biamini. Many labor. Never was trade fair. What over polyclinic? You are young by whom?
Well, they just finished pouring the libation. Let's try and see if we can speak to this chief priest. Hello, sir. Welcome to Joy News. Sir, your name? Okay. He's unable to speak to us at this point. But information that I gathered from some of the people here is that he's one of the traditional priests here in the La community, and that libation was purposely against what he describes as state capture. He talks about the illegitimate takeover of their lands. Okay, great. Okay, great, sir.
President of the
what's your name, sir?
My name is Dr. Ishmael Ni Amano Dodu.
Okay, I'm sure you know the chief priest. Who is he?
Yes, it's the La Kaulomo. La Kaulomo is the La Ulomo for the entire La Kokoko area. Okay. And I'm the president of the Gandangme Alliance for Change, and we are standing for the social transformation of the Gandangme people.
Okay. Tell us, what was the purpose of that libation?
Well, what it was saying was that the gods should ask anyone who is stealing the land, who is cheating the Gandangme people, who has forcibly stolen our allodial properties, they should come and answer. So it's almost like a curse, and he actually threw down the bottle, the stamp bottle, to invoke a curse on anyone who continuously steals from the land community.
Wow, so that's why he broke the bottle?
That's why he broke the bottle. Traditionally, it's a signification, and it is a very, very bad omen if that should happen in libation pouring.
Yeah. Tell me, you are the president of you say you're the president?
Gandangme Alliance for Change.
Gandangme Alliance for Change. Tell me, you're an indigent. Tell me, how exactly do you feel by this? His actions. How exactly do you feel as a Gan?
As a Gan
person, do you associate?
I would certainly tell you that what has happened to the Gandangme people is one that is not just disheartening, but very, very wicked and dangerous for us. We are looking at a group of people who have given so much for the formation of the Republic of Ghana. Look at all the lands that we gave for the formation of the capital. And then let me tell you something. By 2030, the World Bank predicts that the GDP of Greater Accra will be $30 billion, of which, if you cast your eyes on all the youth that are here, lack of skills, lack of education, how are we positioning them to be able to benefit from the GDP of Greater Accra region of $30 billion USD? We are talking about a community where our schools have been destroyed, our polyclinics have been destroyed, the Salaga market has been destroyed, all the places where we can make economic fortune will be destroyed. Our women are on the streets. They are joining us today when they should be selling at Kwasiadraso, Katamanto, Salaga market or Makola. Why are they doing this? They are fighting for the future generation of Ghan people. Listen, whenever the Ghan Adangme community write exams, anyone who is a Ghan Adangme person, there's 98% chances that that person may not make it to SHS. Why? Because the schools are not well equipped for them. We have a lot of illiteracy. So what are we going to do to leave them out of poverty? The urban poverty the Ghanaians are suffering from is one that is very catastrophic. And until a deliberate attempt is made to lift the Ghanaians out of poverty, is going to be challenging. What the Ghanaians need is some form of a development authority that would look at their development plans, the type of schools they need, access to that school, the quality of the school, the health clinic that they need, and they should be paid property taxes so they can underwrite the expenditures for all this. Ghanaians needs representation in universities. We need representation in polyclinics. We need representation in high levels of public policy. Ghana people need representation in security. We need representation everywhere because we are the allodial landowners. What you are seeing today is just the beginning of what could be unleashed if nothing is done about the situation of Ghana people.
All these things you say,
yes.
How are they connected to the alleged sale of these 4 hotels to a great Minister Brandy Champon's?
The alleged sale of the 4 hotels is symptomatic of the deliberate attempt by certain political miscreants to arrogate the land assets of the people. Now, every community defines themselves by their tribe, by their clan, by their language and their assets. In order to lift people out of poverty, they need to be able to use something to benefit them from the production of productive factors of economy. Now, this land, the hotels, what is important is that the allodial landowners must be given equity share in this hotel. There's nothing wrong with giving 30% of the equity shares of all these hotels to the allodial landowners. And therefore, if you are going to sell it, sit down with them, think about it. Now, what is the benefit to our people? Have you thought about it? Who is going to take over? How much is the hotel sold? What procurement processes do they follow for a sitting member of parliament and a sitting minister of state to benefit from information that is sacred for anyone to contest for procurement processes? This is a violation of ethical rules. And we are saying that, look, the way they violated this flagrantly is the same way they are taking our lands and our properties.
Thank you. Thank you very
welcome.
much. Dr.
Ishmael Ni Amano Dodu.
Dr. Amano Dodu, President of the Gandanga
Alliance for Change.
Yes. Yes, thanks for talking to us. Thanks for talking to us. He said earlier that he shares the same sentiment as the traditional priest who earlier poured libation right in front of the Labadi Beach Hotel, essentially raining curses on people he said had taken over, unjustifiably taken over Ghana lands. He talked about buying state property. Honorable Ablakwa, I hand over to you. Ghana properties and many others. Now we have the organizers of the demonstration. They're about to address.
Please, can we all move this way?
They're about to address the crowd before.
All those ahead, please come back.
They start the journey to the Jubilee House.
All those ahead, please come back.
Hundreds of people have gathered on the streets in front of the Labadi Beach Hotel.
Please, everybody should come back. Come back.
We've seen quite a number of policemen also in route control gear. You can see them. Also strategically positioned to ensure that there's decorum, and this is done in a peaceful manner. But what we can report to you is that in the last 30 minutes, we've had traffic building up on this stretch, of road right in front of the Labadi Beach Hotel. Earlier, the police officers were able to control the crowd, getting them off the street.
Please, everyone should come this way. Come this way. We want to address you, show you the route, give you the instructions before we can start. We don't want to have any confrontation in this peaceful but important protest. So everyone should come, listen to leadership, what is in this demonstration, then we can all follow suit. So all protestants, please come this way. Please, can we get the other mic for the other van so that the speech can... Amanuvo, get us the other mic.
In the bed of that pickup truck about to address the protesters. We have not found a member of parliament, Samuel Kuja.
Arise, Ghana youth, for your country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold and make the nation strong. Arise, Ghana youth, for your country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building our motherland. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building our motherland. General Assassini, a abodin maye. Moja yena nanu shegu o maeso. Go. General Assassini, a abodin maye. Mojana na nushegu yareto omaye edumi ni wosusu seyebe ye biatwasu nimge kwasu kuntu grani yepese mekuminya yediye obantu se omen ayese omaku Omai sebe yo, omai sebe yo, yes and now was Oma from Branish. So our forefather told to put a country called Ghana that we have come to inherit. But today's Ghana leaders want to carry everything into oblivion. So we are here to show that Ghana must live beyond us and our unborn children. This morning, a demonstration initiated by our MP in Parliament for North Tongue, Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, to protest against the illegal sale of hotels that belong to SSNIT payers, pensioners. So we are here and we are happy to have you in our numbers. It's almost 10. We will take short addresses for the leadership, for everyone to be in line to understand why you must be part of this protest. So first to speak, I will invite a representative of Trade Union Congress, those who manages workers of
we'll
Ghana.
try to get to speak to him. But we have a rep from
Organized Labor. Comrade Nayele to speak to us. Choboy!
Rep from Organized Labor.
Choboy! Thank you for turning out in your numbers. In fact, on the ground, we have such energy. This is about us. Not you. This is about us and about workers. And when I hear people asking, oh, is it about this political party or that political party? Excuse me. And I mean Kebo Sane. SSNIT Sane are you? Well, what she can what you have or Quaka Matuni 30, 40 years. Konimikani Yashon me throw low pentre. It can't work. Hey, war, and Yemi me Ghana be fair in Quewo. Ecole Onyonia Taflache, he war, may ye be a habo. Ke Omumo, after I was saying. Kept me a walk on the way I was here. Bien, if I walk a labi, I'm here for Ujobang Denche. Eja can ye ship on fair, Eda. Ah, okay, ya. Nilabi ke amekpene. He wa ameke ameshikpon nenyang na ameshikpon he. Leave our hotels alone. Leave their lands alone. Eja keshi ahon kwebo obanina. He wa inye mime. Ene wo he Sunday SSNIT Sunday wo shika Sunday ayo e wonya ha ni wo hia do aye he inkenye mi ken kumse ye organized labor TUC workers Ghana Federation of Labor Medical Association of Ghana nurses and mo femo ye organized labor shishin la hu e ba wi no ko fio ko ni wo ya wo he choboya
This is a struggle for the safety of Ghanaian workers, the future of our children, the future of our brothers and sisters. This is about job security. This is about pensions. This is about ensuring that the ordinary worker does not go home crying. This is a march devoid of partisan politics. It has to do with the future of workers. And we are happy that you have gathered here in your numbers. This will succeed. This will succeed. This will succeed. This will succeed. Choboya! Choboya! Choboya!
Thank you very much. So, I invite the Chief Whip in Parliament to also give us a word. Honorable Kwame Governor Sagboja. Choboy! Choboy!
This is a very good morning, and we thank all of you for coming, and we are about to start. But let this be a message to government, irrespective of which government will come today or tomorrow, that you can no longer take the people of this country for granted. My brothers and sisters, the hotel we are talking about is a strategic national asset. This hotel is more profitable than the organization that is trying to buy it. Where is the principle under this? It has nothing to do with any individual. If the name of the person behind is even Kwame, Kojo, Ama, or Okujeto, the principle under which we are protesting would have been the same. In any case, not too long ago, government under President Akufo-Addo came to Parliament that we should build more hotels. They came and said we should give tax waivers to a lot of hotels. In fact, since we gave the tax waivers, some of the hotels haven't laid one block after taking the tax waivers. And then they went further to insist that the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund should by force invest in the platinum property to build Pullman Hotel at the airport. They said government should invest $50 million. After investing $25 million, they have abandoned the project at the airport. So where is the evidence that this government have got a record of improving any hotel in this country, including their own? So this is to say that enough is enough. And I want to commend the TUC and all labor organizations. They are saving their own future. When my mother, who is also a pensioner, contributes to the SSNIT throughout her life, you cannot just hand it over willy-nilly to somebody because he's in government. I think this is wrong, and we want to take the opportunity to commend Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa for initiating this. And the entire minority is solidly behind this, and we thank you very much for this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shoboy. So, we will now take the last word from Honorable Okujeto, then we will give you the instructions as we move. So with a round of applause, shall we invite Honorable Okujeto?
Choboy! 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 Today, all those skeptics who were saying that Ghanaians will be quiet, Ghanaians will not turn up, Ghanaians will sit idle and allow their treasured state assets, our prized hotels, to be given away for a song in an unconscionable, obnoxious conflict of interest transaction. They have been put to shame. Look at the numbers today. Look at how many Ghanaians have come out. Since 6 a.m., Ghanaians are on their feet and they are saying enough of the state capture. I want to commend all of you. I want to congratulate all of you. This is just the beginning of the struggle. And you have encouraged all of us in the leadership, the TUC, the Federation of Labour, the Minority Caucus, the Gadangbe Caucus, the La Youth Association, all the political parties who are coming together to organize this non-partisan national protest. You have made all of us proud. The people of Teshi, the people of Krowo, the people of Ashaman, we salute all of you. We also want to specially thank the Wulomai. I don't remember the last time I saw the Wulomai. For the La Wulomai himself to come out today with all the traditional leaders to give us his blessings, to pour libation, and to ask that our ancestors should protect us on this march.
and to give us victory on this march. I want to salute the Wulome. God bless him. May all our ancestors bless him. This tells you that this matter is not a joke. If this, see how beautiful and magnificent these glorious edifices are. If they are good for Honorable Brea Champon, if they are good for the sons of Freddie Blay, they can be good for all Ghanaians. That is what we are saying. It is not true, as you have seen, that these hotels are collapsing. It is not true that they have been run down. It is not true that they have become ramshackle. If you listen to some of them on radio, you will think that coming here today, we will not even get a decent place to stand by. You will think that we are coming to see an eyesore. But all that propaganda has been exposed. That is why we decided to start in front of the Labadi Beach Hotel. We will also go to La Palm Royal, and you will see how magnificent these hotels are. When Rock City last year was filing losses at the GRA, Labadi Beach Hotel, this hotel in front of us, made profit of 158 million Ghana cedis. Between Labadi Beach Hotel and Rock City, who should be buying who? Which of the hotels should be buying the other? So this cannot be about any savior coming to save these hotels. Already there is no value for money. SSNIT's own valuation report says that these 4 hotels should go for $121 million. Brea Champon is offering only $61 million. He's going to pay over a 3-year period. It's a work and pay arrangement. He will only use the proceeds from Labadi Beach Hotel for this transaction. We are saying that if he has any great ideas to transform hotels, that is why he's in cabinet. He should bring it to bear at the cabinet. Why is it that he can only bring those ideas to bear when he buys the hotels and they become his private property? Is that patriotism? No. Is that patriotism? No. Is that nationalism? No. Is that love for country? No. That is why the people of Ghana are saying, walk pene, walk pene, yem pene and yem pene ochina. So we want to admonish you. This is going to be a very peaceful protest. We don't want any violence. We are going to proceed to La Palm Royal. You see how La Palm Royal is. It is not true that it has been run down, it has collapsed. It is not true. From there, we will use the Elwak Road. We'll walk all the way to the Cantonments intersection, take a left through the Cantonments post office, through Italian embassy, Russian embassy, DVLA, Parks and Gardens. We are going all the way to the Christ the King Church. They say that they don't want us to go too close to the Jubilee House. I hear some of you call it Jubilee House. We are going to terminate at the Christ the King Church, and then we will receive the delegation that will...
Well, welcome back, Aman Maxwell Agbagba on that beat, and of course, the protesters there. Samuel Kudjatu Ablakwa, Northern Member of Parliament, that legislator, together with others, also there against this sale. I see he was saying Wulome. The Wulome, one of the Wulome, but a Wulomo was there to offer libation. We keep saying pour libation, offer libation. But your quick thoughts on all these happenings there before we conclude.
Absolutely commendable. These demonstrations are not easy to organize, and I can appreciate the Member of Parliament, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa's efforts in halting this sale. I'm actually a bit surprised that organized labor is not present, the likes of Dr. Ba and the rest, who said we're going to see a never-before-seen industrial action. This should be something, you know, a collaborative effort between... I don't want to make it a party thing, but the NDC are doing their bit. What is organized labor doing about it? But yeah, I mean, let's see how all of it goes. Maybe we'll get a Japan deal 2.0. You know, this deal will actually be halted. So yeah, my thoughts simply that let's see.
But since you've mentioned organized labor, just a quick thought about the board of SSNIT and organized labor having 7 out of the 13 slots. I mean, if they really wanted to do something, that's where they would have to.
Well.